Hello, YouTube. This is Ben Gessel. Um, so I I'm gonna make another kind of review movie tonight, and um, you know this is gonna be a little bit more uh, kind of free form. Not gonna have any numerical ratings for this particular one. I'm gonna be looking at science fiction movies and movies that border on the fantasy sci-fi thing. So just to start things off here, one of the trains of thought I've had in the past is this annoying question, semi annoying question. What's the difference between science fiction and fantasy? We know that we're essentially talking about adventure movies, right? That are imaginative. Well, the difference between the two is that in science fiction, there's much stronger reliance on something scientific to explain the inner workings of the world that the movie is kind of based on. Whereas fantasy is not. I mean, it does not operate by the laws that we're familiar with. So science fiction is going to be more realistic, fantasy much less realistic. And the reason why I say this is annoying is because it seems like there still are people that expect fantasy movies and books to be realistic. They're not supposed to be realistic. They're supposed to be not realistic. But there are some things about fantasy that definitely are very, very tied in with reality. That being, of course, the ongoing, all the moral lessons and thought processes and things, which is one of the whole reasons why high fantasy is so well thought of, anyways, because there's such well, yeah, there you go. Good triumphs over evil. What is good? When, how to recognize evil, and all that kind of stuff. So, going through some of these different science fiction, I would say franchises. I hate the word franchise, but it sounds like a business. But these are big names in the science fiction world, as far as movies I'm going to name. The first one, Star Wars. Now, as I go through some of these guys, I know that some of these movies have fanatical fans, and so for anyone to say anything on YouTube regarding any of these things, I'm only saying I certainly have my own views about all these things, and I'm definitely open to other people, talking to me about it. I realize there are people though that base their whole lives around some of these things. Even, I mentioned Harry Potter in the previous fantasy rating thing. And I know, there's gonna be people that have a big issue with what I'm saying. There are probably maybe even more people in this video that are gonna have issues with what I'm gonna say because of this Warsy Trekkie thing, and there's some other ones that I might mention that might have some very devoted fans. But Star Wars, right off the bat. Okay. So, I'm going to just say this. I think I've always liked Star Wars more than Star Trek. I wish that I'm just going to go through all these things just as I say. So I've always been more into Star Wars than Star Trek. That's the first thing I should say. The second thing is that I always thought the Jedi should be able to marry, but I can understand if they can't, kind of like a monk type thing. But they should be able to marry. Okay, the third thing is that I don't know how I feel yet about Disney's acquisition of Star Wars. I'm not overjoyed, of course. Um, I think George Lucas had a little bit different idea, though, about Star Wars than a lot of other people have had. George has just kind of, in my opinion, he's just not as fanatical. There's so many things I think that he wants to do in life. Maybe he still wants to do. Maybe just more recreational things. But for whatever reason, I know he put his whole heart and soul in Star Wars. I know that was one of his babies, of course. But he's a very different kind of mindset than a very extreme Star Wars type fan, and it makes sense to me that some people are very fond of George Lucas. At the same time, I think that it may be a good idea for them to. There's a certain level of, I don't know if I would say, I'd say unhealthiness. There's a certain level of extreme fandom that's a little bit unhealthy, and I think when someone treats anything like a religion, any one of these movies like a religion, that's excessive. Okay, that's excessive. But of course, I've heard of people that belong to some religion that's a Star Wars type religion. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so Star Wars. I'm very fond of Star Wars universe. It definitely sits pretty well with. It's always sat well with me. Again, I feel like the Jedi should be able to have girlfriends or whatever. Right? I don't know. Anyway, so Star Trek. For some reason, it used to be great. Now it's just kind of different. I think in a way, Star Wars. It kind of makes sense that Star Wars was bought by Disney. Disney has certain qualities about its company that go well with Star Wars in some respects. Star Trek is very weird, weird and kind of a very. I just want to say Star Trek has always had a more of a liberal, uh, more morally relativistic, whatever kind of come as you are. It was the first show back in the '60s. One of the first shows to have an interracial kissing scene, right? Yeah. So Gene Roddenberry, of course, progressive, and we all love him. But Star Trek has a different vibe about it, and I like the original Star Trek, and I like the Star Trek Next Generation. I have nothing against the other ones. The other ones are great too, but I just for me it's always been the second place compared to Star Wars, in between the two, because the good versus evil basis for Star Wars is much more gripping, and it's a more emotional, larger theme in a way for me than this where no man's gone before. I like just being able to go exploring, sure, but Star Trek is again more of a TV series, and Star Wars is much more about the movies, really. And there are Star Trek movies, but they're kind of antidotes to this TV series. The TV series is kind of repetitive, in a way, and it was all very stuffy. And I don't know. So Star Trek, yeah. Star Wars is pretty cool. I'm not as crazy about Star Wars as I am about some other things. Do I like Star Wars more than I do Harry Potter? They're actually almost about the same. Harry Potter has a slight edge. Do I like Star Wars more or less than Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings is also pretty comparable with Harry Potter and Star Wars and all those guys. Chronicles, it's hard for me to say if any one of these big things stands out to me. But Mirror Mask, for instance, I mentioned that in an earlier video, is just such an amazing movies. Some of these single movies, it have to be more of a single movie that really stands out. Stargate SG-1, I've always liked the interplay of the different characters, and of course everyone knows Richard Dean Anderson from MacGyver, so it's great to have him. I think it's a great show. I like the vibe of it overall and everything. Falling Skies, I saw all of the seasons, and I think that was a really really great TV series. And Steven Spielberg is just unbelievable. He's just awesome. Spielberg, awesome. The only thing I have had any mixed feelings about, or have been less than hugely impressed by Spielberg, was AI, and I know Spielberg is really trying to get the darker side of stuff in AI for sure. Quantum Leap, I mentioned this because I remember this from the 90s and everything, but it was okay. I like the premise of it. After a while, it kind of fizzled out a little bit. The Matrix is I'm probably a bigger fan of The Matrix even than I am certainly Star Trek. Am I a bigger fan of The Matrix than I am Star Wars? It's hard to say, but I really love The Matrix. I might be. I'm not sure exactly. I think there should be more movies kind of like The Matrix. Some people, I think it's kind of dark fantasy, or if it's science fiction. It is science fiction. It has to do with artificial intelligence and things, and computers and all that stuff. But I guess there are fantasy elements in there, of course. But there should be more movies like The Matrix. It's really good. Now, E.T. I also think there should be more movies like E.T. But once you've had the friendly alien, we had to have the mean aliens. I just think we need another E.T. It would be great. Wouldn't it be great to have E.T. as an old alien, or one of E.T.'s descendants come down and visit the United States again? And gosh, I mean, I know that those kind of movies can be totally butchered, but if it was done right, if we had Spielberg at the helm, I would only see E.T. another E.T. movie if Spielberg was in charge. If someone else is in charge, I'd be very critical of it. I would be very like, don't mess with E.T., right? But this would be a fun one, and it wouldn't have to be. I don't like the remakes. But this would be a brand new movie. So anyway, I don't know. Well, again, I think if Steven Spielberg sees this, I think Spielberg, you might want to consider doing another E.T. movie. Not really a different story, but related to the original. Avatar, I think, I was amazed by the 3D effects and everything and the whole whatever, but let's face it, it's kind of not as big of a deal as some of these other ones. James Cameron is, I think, one of the big special effects guys. Avatar, yeah. Interstellar, I think had. I liked it. It was one of my movies I'm more fond of in the last little while, and I'm very fond of Matthew McConaughey was acting and everything. Yeah, I thought it was really good. Really good. It was a little bit gripping. It was a little bit dramatic. It was a little bit like, oh boy, we're going to a black hole. Holy crud! It's like, oh boy. So yeah, Minority Report with Tom Cruise, also pretty good, pretty dramatic, pretty intense. Aliens, the whole Alien franchise, I think was pretty darn solid. Very intense. But so far the ones that really stand out, which are my favorites in the science fiction arena here. I guess E.T. might be a little bit again on the fantasy end, but so E.T., The Matrix, Interstellar, Star Wars, Falling Skies. Well, yeah, that's kind of a. Anyway, so RoboCop was another one that's kind of gritty and really, really, really I like them. But it's still pretty solid. Back to the Future, really fun movie. I love the music and everything. The X-Files was a little bit ho-hum compared to some of these other ones, but it had some pretty, again, it's a TV show, but it really worked well. I think there's definitely always that side to it where you always feel like if you wanted to know more what, I don't know. I would like to see a more conclusive TV show, something to actually answer some of our questions about UFOs and things, but that won't happen until we know what we know for sure about these things. Until then, we have to kind of just speculate via these shows. But the X Files is still pretty good. You know, Twilight Zone, definitely for its time. I mean, Rod Serling was awesome, awesome. Serling's really very good. And Dune, I think Dune, along with there's another movie, Flash Gordon and something. There's one of those other movies from the '70s that '70s '80s ballpark that was kind of really visually striking and had these bands at the time that had this. I don't know. This was the era of the really imaginative, colorful. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Dune with Kyle MacLachlan and Patrick Stewart. I don't know, all kinds of people. Is Sean Connery in there? Even I think. Well, who was it? No, it was. Oh no, it was Jürgen Prochnow and there's another guy, Max von Sydow. There's a bunch of actors were in Dune, and definitely Patrick Stewart and Kyle MacLachlan, and oh yeah, Brad Dourif as well. So it had a lot of really kind of up and coming acting talent and good actors, and I think yeah, I like Dune, but it's the kind of movie that is very quotable. um, and the funny thing about all this science fiction stuff, all these science fiction movies, is, I remember when I was playing Atari, that I remember playing Star Raiders and the feeling that it was just a little bit like Star Wars or something with the TIE fighters and everything. I don't know, but there definitely is a connection with video games and some of these movies, particularly Star Wars, and oh, Dune, yeah, maybe also kind of in our zombie apocalypse big heyday right now, Falling Skies and that sort of thing, but yeah. Anyway, so let me know what you think. Comments below. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.